Hey everybody, Scott Barboza for ESPNBoston.com. High schools, it's that time of the year again. It's Super 8 Center, and we're here at Stoneham Arena after two extremely captivating playing games in the preliminary round here tonight, with the Catholic Conference coming away with a pair of one-goal victories, one in double overtime, one via a third period comeback. We'll get you to the highlights here. First up, the first game on tonight's docket, Archbishop Williams and Xaverian, game that was tied 5-5 and went into double overtime. Here's Greg's story with the highlights.
Thanks, Scott. A wild game going down between Archbishop Williams and Xaverian, as the Hawks take advantage here of the Bishop's inability to clear the zone right here. Tony Marini can't put home the initial shot attempt, but is able to bury home the ensuing one-timer to get the Hawks out in front 1-0. And still in the first, the Bishops, who were the aggressors for much of the opening frame, make their presence felt here. Ryan Dunn races up in front of everyone and risks one top shelf to tie things up at 1. And right off the very next faceoff, just 5 seconds later, senior Mike Davis rattling the water bottle on top of the goal once more to get Archbishop Williams out in front by 1. First period not done yet, though, as with under a minute to go, the Hawks answer on yet another misplay with the puck here from the Bishops. Jack Cook racing up and going 5-hole to tie us up at 2 heading into the intermission. In the second, Archbishop looking to take back the lead, create some pressure in front of the net, and it's Eric Keefe poking in the rebound to regain a 1-goal lead. But this game had a common theme, where if you blinked, you might miss a lot of the action. 20 seconds later, Xaverian's Andrew Durkin hangs out at the crease and takes advantage of goalie Steve Jenner getting a little tied up, going for the initial save, tie things back up at 3. But moments later, the puck is cleared down into the Xaverian zone. Goalie Aiden Murphy tries to get it out of there, but puts it right on the stick of Ryan Dunn. His shot sails wide, but he's able to get his own rebound and feed Garrett Foley, camped out right in front of the net for the Bishops, to once again regain the lead. The teams would exchange goals from there, giving Archbishop Williams a 5-4 lead heading into the third. And from then on, the Hawks really controlled momentum in this one. They're finally able to tie things up late in the third. As Cook puts it on net, it looks to get deflected in front as it slips in, and we would not only get out of regulation tied up, but we would go into a second overtime. Xaverian basically with their foot on the pedal from the third period on in this one, and it leads to this. Ricky Smith flying up the boards, rearing back and firing one off the glove of Jenner and into the back of the net, as the Hawks take it by the final of 6-5 to advance to the Super 8. With the win, Xaverian will take on BC High this Sunday at the Garden.
Thanks very much, Greg. Now, obviously, a storyline always to watch this time of the year, how those teams being upset in a play-in game might be able to rebound going back into their respective tournaments. Obviously, two teams going back into Division I South from tonight's action here. I think a couple positives here for Archie's going back into that Division I field. Ryan Dunn continued his hot play. We saw it down in Falmouth a week ago at the Buddy Ferrara Classic. Continued here tonight. Seems like he's got a magnet with the puck on his stick. It's been absolutely amazing to watch here in the last couple of weeks. Some pretty special stuff there. And also get a look back at the goaltender. Steve Jenner has probably been playing his best hockey down the stretch here in the regular season. Also, for Xaverian, obviously, going on to the Super 8 here, some things I liked from them here tonight. Again, Antonio Marini, I've said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it many times to the point where it almost is invalid. I think Antonio Marini is one of the most underrated players in the state this year. Showed it again tonight. Territorial play was a big theme here for Xaverian. Archbishop Williams, I think, got the better of the first two periods, but Xaverian with a much better effort in the third period, counteracting Archie's forward speed and also trying to create on the rush. They were much better at that in the third period. And, of course, Ricky Smith, can't forget about the man who scored the game winner. Very active here in all aspects of the game tonight. Very physical presence and, of course, being able to jump up into the play on that 3-on-1 situation and let it rip from the right wing circle. And the Hawks are moving on. So that brings us to our second game here, which was Catholic Memorial and Braintree. Another Catholic Conference team looking to move on, with the Knights staggering their way into this Super 8 field with the 10th seed after going winless for the month of February. Can they turn it around here tonight?
Well, Scott, CM would have to climb uphill early in this one, or would they? A little bit of controversy to start things off against Braintree as the Womps' Brian Gallagher gets the pass, makes his way through a couple defenders, and looks to beat goalie Brandon Collette. Or does he? It's ruled initially that it went off the crossbar and play resumes. The refs meet over it, and as we take a second look, of course, we have the luxury of slow motion and replay. They do not, so you can be the judge of this one. Regardless, things were still scoreless in Stoneham. Braintree not letting that keep them down for long, however. It's still in the first. The puck's bouncing around in the CM zone. Finally, it collected and slapped home here by Kevin Howard to get the Womps out in front by 1. The lead they'd hold on to all the way into the third period. However, in the third, CM's Aaron Clancy would make his presence felt as Braintree is unable to clear the zone. He goes top shelf to tie things up at 1. And just over 2 minutes later, the puck is behind the Braintree net. Clancy is hanging out in front, grabs the pass out of the middle of the air, and puts home his second. Braintree coach is wondering if the goal is clean, but giving it a second look, it appears as if the refs got this one right. The Knights hold on to take this one by that final of 2-1, and with the win, they advance to play Malden Catholic in the Garden on Sunday.
Thanks again, Greg. Now, obviously for Braintree, a couple tough bounces there. Looked like a good goal in the first period from our vantage point. The goal buzzer went off. No signal from the officials on ice. They confer. They talked to the goal judge. Apparently, he told them what he saw. They said it looked like it hit the crossbar and came straight out. Didn't hear a noise here in the rink. Don't want to fuel anything to the conspiracy theories out there, but looked like it could have been a good goal. But then, of course, another tough bounce for the Womps at the third period and Clancy's second goal. But, of course, conferring with the Womps staff, they felt it was a good goal, too. Clance played it out of the air, batted the puck down to his stick into the back of the net. That's a game winner. Now, coming away from that, obviously Braintree will have to refocus going into an increasingly deep Division I South with Archie's also going down there. We should see them at some point down in Gallo. But also for the CM group, this has also been a refocusing act. This is a group that, again, struggled and backed its way into this tournament. Now that they got themselves going in the right direction here with a tight win tonight, maybe they can make a run in this tournament here. Aaron Clancy referred back to Malden Catholic's run last year. Of course, the 3-time defending Super 8 champions were the 10 seed last year and ended up skating away with the hardware at the Garden. So there is a template for the Knights to follow here. But it all comes back to what Bill Hansen said here tonight, and that is that his team tonight played the way that they practiced. He hasn't had an issue with this group's resolve, effort, anything coming down the home stretch. It just hasn't worked out for them, and he felt finally tonight that they made things simple enough for themselves that they were able to play that the way they are capable of. So of course, CM, of course, the preeminent program in this state for such a long time, finds yet another way to get to the Super 8, and of course there'll be a tough one to play there along with Xaverian. And of course it all starts at the TD Garden on Sunday. 4 games. We'll have you there, of course, for all of it. We'll have the live chat, we'll have your recaps, we'll have your highlights, and it's all full tilt, full time here until we return to the Garden once again on Sunday, March 16th. Until then, I'm Scott Barboza for ESPNBoston.com High Schools.